The Espada. The 10 strongest Aron cards who are ranked from weakest to strongest from 10 to 1, which is actually later revealed to be 9 to 0. Despite has stated numerous times that the number symbolizes how much stronger an Espada is in comparison to the other ones in terms of spiritual pressure. Now, even in 2022, nearing it to 2023, it's still a heavily debated topic by most Bleach fans on just who is the strongest Espada. Now, before getting right into this video, let me know if you think the strongest Espada is in the comment section. And if you haven't already, press that subscribe button like you want to touch Nnoitора's solo hole. Leave a like and comment your thoughts down below. Now, with that out of the way, let's get right into it, Mon. Preface this video, this will only be referring to the Espadas during the Hueco Mundo arc and not Thousand Year Blood War. So no, you Grimmjow and Nnoitora stands, get back. You're probably gonna be really sad because both your goats don't really scale anywhere. Now, when people discuss who the strongest Espada is, the ones that most come to mind are Yami, Starrk, Ulquiorra, and for some really weird odd reason, Nnoitora. The other Espada's positions aren't really questionable as they kind of just scale in place from what we see and what they do with their tasks and their powers. So, Adenyeto, Cizael, Zomari, Grimmjow, Neliel, Holybell, and Baragon kind of aren't really a candidate for the strongest Espada even during this Hueco Mundo arc. They're kind of just basic. They're really cool and have really good character arcs, but in terms of feat and power, they're kind of just in their positions and aren't really questionable. Also for this video, I will not be including Lupi or Neliel. This will only be including who I believe the strongest truly is. So yes. And also for this video, I kind of want to debunk some of the misconceptions about certain Espadas and why they're a bit overrated or underrated depending on who they are. So to kick this off, I want to talk about Nnoitora Gilga, the most overrated character in the Espada because he has the quote-unquote hardest hero. And yes, before y'all start mashing in the comment sections, he does. This is very true. It's not stated not just once, not twice, but over 7 times in both the anime, manga, light novels, and data book. Kubo goes out of his way to demonstrate he has the hardest hero. This is confirmed. Come on, just stop debating it. But yes, people try to say that because his durability is the hardest among all the Espada, that because of the Kenpachi saving the spiritual pressure correlating to durability. However, the data book defines Kyoto as kind of a outer skin or armor, and is implied to be similar to how Ulquiorra's regeneration works, in that you can sacrifice certain stats to increase regeneration or other abilities, or sacrifice regeneration to increase power. So it's kind of implied that maybe Nnoitora increases durability to become the hardest and didn't really sacrifice any other stats or amplify them except his durability. This really would make sense as, again, he is number 5. If he were truly the strongest Espada, he'd be number 1. Or perhaps a different number, but that's for later in the video. By the way, this is a side note. Yes, Nnoitora can beat up Grimmjow. I'm surprised people even debate this topic, but he legit said he saw the whole fight and knows all of Ichigo's moves from the fight. And even after this, he says verbatim he could literally one-shot Grimmjow at any point in time. But people still debate this. I don't know why, but I kind of just want to bring it up that he just flat out says he is stronger than Grimmjow, and Ichigo kind of doesn't disagree with this. Now, Starrk being number 1 Espada means that technically while Yami is number 10, he is the strongest Espada, as the number 0 doesn't exist yet. Although he is a carefree loner, he is pretty strong in his own right, being said at the top of the Espada in the data book, and while being arguably mentally nerfed, there isn't much to say about him other than his rank and his fight with Shunsui. Although it should be known that he can, according to the data book, fire an infinite amount of Ceros, which you can interpret as being, you know, hyperbolic, but we do see he just like shoots them casually. But in comparison to the other Espada in the list, he isn't really nowhere near their level. Now, the next Espada is a fan favorite and a bit overrated in my book, but Ulquiorra Silver, one of the strongest characters in the Fate Card Kurtown art. From his hidden second release form that not even Sosuke Aizen knows about, to his Vastar Lorde fight that even Kubo notes is his favorite in the series, he is a bit strong and a bit overrated. However, he does have a bit of reason for this. Vastar Lorde Ichigo and him are able to cancel out Ceros and even be able to survive attacks from one another. Same Vastar Lorde Ichigo that scales to post Yami fight Kenpachi according to the light novel. Now, the audience doesn't really have a symbol on how much stronger he is in comparison to the other Espadas, but as I said, he is compared to post Yami fight Kenpachi. Same Kenpachi is able to like one-shot Yami off screen. Data books even note that the only reason Yami followed Ulquiorra specifically was because he was the only Espada whose strength he respected, despite the fact that Ulquiorra actually knew how strong Yami really was. which means that it's possible Yami did know about his second release, but even if he didn't, that does imply that Ulquiorra knew about Yami's true zero strength. Now, there isn't much to really add about Ulquiorra other than like his insane regeneration ability that was able to make him come back from being a literal skeleton and head, even though his organs were destroyed. But he is pretty strong, and I am gonna lie, he went from being at the bottom of the list to being at the top, in my opinion. Now, the strongest Espada, this really shouldn't come as a surprise to anyone, as it's just stated numerous times, is Yami. Now, it's not just stated once, but numerous times in the anime, manga, data books, and light novels that Yami is the strongest. The same light novel, which is supervised and approved by Kubo, by the way, says multiple times that the strongest Espada always has the number 0 on them. Not only does Yami, who feels Ulquiorra's death, comment on how strong he is, but he then flat out says he surpassed the 3 people that Ichigo just fought, being Grimmjow, Ulquiorra, and Nnoitora. The data book even reinforces this by saying that when Yami makes a statement, he doesn't lie because he has double the spiritual pressure of all of them. Now, this also kind of makes sense from a narrative perspective, as Aizen's whole motive is to put Ichigo in more fights as he goes from fighting Grimmjow to Nnoitora to Ulquiorra to then fighting Yami himself, the self-proclaimed and demonstrated strongest Espada. And Ichigo, when Yami brings this up, doesn't even disagree when Yami states that he's far surpassed Ulquiorra. Aizen also thinks that he needed time to at least get immortality before fighting the same Kenpachi Zaraki that Yami was capable of damaging after getting slightly angry. Now, this is kind of important because anger for Yami is said to increase his power, some of his ability. Basically, the angrier he gets, the bigger and stronger he gets, and his size is proportional to his power, so the bigger he is, the stronger he is. It's pretty simple. But although he has the second hardest hero among the Espada, it is stated he has the strongest strength in all of his arms against every Espada. Again, he isn't really that fast as his size is increasing, but it doesn't really change the fact that no Espada can really damage him, as post-Bastoletta Ichigo, who gets stronger for fighting and healing, is barely able to scratch his neck, and thanks that him, Kenpachi, and Byakuya really need to jump him just to defeat first release Yami. To even show how much stronger he is, it's actually stated in the data book, the dog that follows him, it only follows the weakest Espada and the strongest one, and even when he's on his deathbed, the dog is still following him, demonstrating that he is the strongest Espada. There really isn't like any arguments to say. Kubo makes it very clear on who the strongest Espada is. And I'm kind of surprised that people actually argue and debate this when it's just stated he is the strongest. It's kind of like Yamamoto versus Aizen, which, by the way, you should check out my friend Simply Troy's video on it. He gives pretty good facts about it. But to sum this up, there really isn't nothing else to add for this video other than the Espada rankings are kind of weird. And I do feel like Kubo did kind of retcon the whole zero thing, but I digress. Anyways, if you did like the video and want to see more Bleach content from me, let me know in the comments, and I hope you enjoyed this for real. Peace, Mon, and again, you should check out my friend's video. It's pretty peak. Bye.